Hello, welcome back to my world of stuff. Happy New Year. I can still say Happy New Year. It's the 5th of January, first cinema visit of the year, and as you can see, I'm all alone in the dark. I've come to see Night Swim, the new horror film from the Blumhouse production banner. But it's just me. It's, 10 past 11? Yeah, I've got the cinema to myself. So I'll be back shortly to let you know whether this film is one that's worth a dip, or whether you should stay on dry land. Hello, welcome back to my world of stuff. Happy 2024, very happy New Year to you. It's currently January the 6th. I don't think it's too late to keep wishing people Happy New Year, especially if you haven't been in contact with them over the post-festive period. And I haven't. This is my first video since my top 10 film and TV rankings of last year, posts incidentally, which are still available. Still available on this channel. Everything's available. You can go back and look at anything on this channel at any time you like. It's magic. So yeah, welcome aboard to some new subscribers over the past week or so. Even though I've not posted anything new, I found a few new curious subscribers. So thank you for coming on board. Please stick around. If you're finding this video, if you're interested in this film I'm reviewing today because it's a new film and you think the review is okay, why not like and subscribe right now? Do it now. Press that button and then you'll see all the stuff that I put up, which tends to cover films, TV, books, a lot of Doctor Who content for Doctor Who fans, and all sorts of bits and pieces that interest me. So welcome to my world of stuff. Okay, the film I'm reviewing today is my first film visit of the year, and it's not the most distinguished of film visits, shall we say. It's Night Swim, a new horror film from Blumhouse Productions, Jason Blum's sort of umbrella title for these low-budget but enormously profitable, generally, films that he churns out. And he's certainly redefined and reshaped the horror landscape over the last few years by creating some new franchises, creating lots of one-off films. And because horror films, I think I've mentioned this on a previous video, horror films are quite low budget. If one that does reasonably well can make a decent profit. I suspect that will be the case with Night Swim, although I have to say I don't think it particularly deserves to. I was fairly intrigued by this because I remember seeing a trailer for it towards the end of last year. I thought, yeah, it looks vaguely interesting. In retrospect, I suppose I should have thought, a scary swimming pool, is there such a thing? Well, having viewed the film yesterday, I think I can say fairly comprehensively, no, there's not. This is a horror film that isn't horrifying, it's not terrifying, it's not scary, despite the fact that there are warnings in the certification about some scares and horror, but it really isn't. I mean, young children might find it scary, it might put them off going into swimming pools for a while, but I think if you've seen any horror film of any vintage, really, you're going to find this very, very tame beer indeed. It's an intriguing sort of idea. It's written and directed by Bryce Maguire, and it's actually based on a short film that he made in 2014, which I think was the introductory sequence to this film, which has now been expanded into a full 98-minute narrative. And it's about a family, the Waller family, who are looking for a new home. The father of the family, Ray, is played by Wyatt Russell. You'll be familiar with him from his role in Monarch, Legacy of Monsters on Apple TV at the moment, and you'll probably remember him too as the new, potentially new Captain America. He is back on Disney+. He is, of course, Kurt Russell's son, and he's forging out a decent career, stepping out from under his father's shadow, although he does appear with his father in Monarch. But yeah, he's quite a solid sort of physical sort of presence, and I think he could do well in years to come. But he'll have to stop making films like this. So yeah, he plays Ray, the father of the Waller family. He's an ex-baseball player who's suffering from or living with the early stages of multiple sclerosis. They're looking for a new home, and when they find this long-abandoned house that has a covered-up swimming pool, it's covered with tarpaulin and leaves and so on, they fall in love with the place, basically. A swimming pool they think will possibly help Ray in his fight against MS. So he and his wife, played by Kerry Condon, and two kids. There's one sort of adolescent young girl and a younger son, as is often the way in these things. They move into this house, they do it up, they renovate the swimming pool, and things start to happen. But none of it's very interesting. None of it's very scary. I think the first vaguely interesting thing, I suppose, is that regularly using the pool seems to help Ray's condition. Goes back to the doctor, and his symptoms seem to have not only subsided, but retreated almost completely. He puts this down to regular exercise in the pool, but there's clearly something sinister going on in the pool. There is a scene, which I think, frankly, is there just to justify the Night Swim title, where his young daughter sneaks into the pool with her boyfriend to fool around and splash around in the water, and she hears a whispering voice and a strange presence, and she starts to get dragged under the water. There's something connected to the pool which is causing all these things to happen. I suppose the most effective scene in the film is where the family, new to the neighbourhood, have a sort of a summer neighbourhood pool party. They invite all their friends and neighbours and kids round, and there's food and splash them out in the pool. But there's an incident there which turns the neighbours against them, and they begin to realise that the pool perhaps isn't as benevolent and as they thought it might be. It is, I hate the word hokum, but this really is simplistic hokum. It tries to sort of, it's got some very basic jump scares in it. It's very narratively very perfunctory. It's, you know, basically I think it's very hard to make a swimming pool seem like a sinister place, especially because it's an enclosed space. You can see to the bottom of it. The twist here is that there's something at the bottom of the pool, of the plug hole, if you like, which is a gateway to a strange kingdom or strange aquatic domain, which is linked to a spring, nearby spring, and previous victims are there as sort of spectral figures dragging other people down, and they need victims so that it can offer the benefits that the water promises to other people. It's what I'm staggering my way through this description because the film does well. It doesn't really make it very clear what is going on here. There's something, the pool leads to something, and the pool has the power to help people, but it's all very vaguely and very ill-defined. And in the end, the film just dissolves into tedious sort of shock stuff, possession cliches, and it's really not very good. I didn't find it engaging when I was watching it. It didn't click with me, really. I sat through it, and me and the one other person in a very large cinema, incidentally, watched it, and yeah, it's a very forgettable film. It's certainly not going to be one I'm going to remember at the end of the year. It's probably one that'll be on my disappointing list next year. So it's not a very spectacular or not a very impressive start to my movie going for the year. But it's, you know, it just intrigued me because last year we had Megan from Blumhouse, which is a really good, solid sort of horror / science fiction film, which worked very well, and hopes that they might do it again this year have sunk without a trace, unfortunately. I'm not going to throw in any more swimming puns here because I think I've used them all up in my review for starburstmagazine.com. Should be online anytime now. But no, disappointing. I didn't think it was going to be fantastic. I didn't think it was going to be a classic horror film, but I thought it might be a nice, lively, vaguely entertaining horror film to start off the new year, and it was very vaguely entertaining. Night Swim is in cinemas now. I'm not going to recommend it, but if you fancy seeing it, because there's not much else out at the moment, pop along. I'm going to give it 4 out of 10 for Night Swim in cinemas now. Right, thank you for watching this brief video. Hopefully it's quite brief by the time I've edited out bits and pieces. So, if you have seen Night Swim, why not let me know? Leave a comment down below. You know, you pay your money, you make your choice. I'll be back soon with some more content. As I said, like and subscribe, leave a comment, and I will see you soon. Until I do, keep taking the stuff.